You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 418 for Sunday, the 10th of July, 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's show. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are you this fine evening?
I'm getting to the point that literally in a few days' time, I can say I'm going to Walt Disney World in a month.
It's not long now, is it, Michelle?
It's getting close and I'm starting to have panic attacks and thinking about this and thinking about that. And am I prepared enough? Have I enough clothes? Have I got this? Have I got that? But more about that later on in the show.
Okay.
What about yourself?
I'm sweating.
Ladies glow, Jane, they don't sweat.
Is that what it is? Yeah, well, after a morning of gardening, I don't think I'm glowing. I'm definitely doing the other. But no, it's typical, isn't it? We Brits love to moan when it gets too hot. And then all of our American friends go, well, it's not that hot. And we go, yes, but we haven't got any AC. And therein lies our problem.
Yeah. This podcast isn't the Disney Dream Girls aircon podcast. So let's make a crack on. And Jane, have we got a couple of bits of history?
I have indeed. Michelle, in fact, I might have a little bit more than a couple. But anyway, we'll start with, unfortunately, the 10th of July didn't really show up an awful lot of exciting stuff. So I've had to go for the 9th of July. And I'm going to go all the way back to 1894. Long before you and I were probably even thought of, Michelle.
Definitely.
And this is a birthday. And this is the birthday of a chap called Joe Fowler. Joe Fowler, you might know the name, so let me explain. He was invited by Walt Disney to lead a construction team at Disneyland. Now, Joe was an actual retired shipbuilder. He came on board into Adventureland to look at doing steamboats. And apparently had a bit of a catchphrase, and that was can do, can do. And it was often said that everybody knew he had no idea what he was going to do, but he would turn around to Walt and say, yeah, can do. By hook or by crook, he always seemed to manage to get it done. I just got this vision of this chap going, yeah, of course we can do that, Walt. Yeah, no problem, Walt. And then turning around going, oh my goodness, how on earth are we going to do that? But very clever chap. But he didn't actually start working for Disney until he was almost retired. So he had this second career for over about 28 years in his retirement. And because of his engineering skill, he managed to oversee the construction of Disneyland. He went on to manage operations when it actually opened. He was a technical advisor to the film 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He then was tasked with planning and building Walt Disney World. At one point, he actually held 3 job roles simultaneously. He was Senior Vice President of Engineering and Construction. He was Chairman of the Board for WDW Enterprises and Director of Construction for Disney's Buena Vista Construction Company. He retired in 1978, became a Disney legend in 1990 and died at the grand old age of 99. And the reason you might know his name is because there is a ferry on the Seven Seas Lagoon that was christened in his name, so Admiral Joe Fowler. And the harbour used as a dry dock for Disneyland's SS Columbia and paddle wheeler Mark Twain is dubbed Fowler's Harbour, a name that lives on. And I just thought it was really fascinating. This chap was co-opted into working in his retirement and probably did as many years retired as he did. So working in his retirement as he did before he retired. Or didn't retire, however you want to look at it.
Now do you know what I want?
What?
A soup bread bowl.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Can't do that for you, love.
No.
We're going to flash forward a little bit more in time, though. We're going to go all the way to 1956, another birthday. This is Tom Hanks's birthday.
Aww.
Yeah. And I didn't realise that when he starred in Splash back in 1984, I didn't realise it was that old. It was the very first film that was released by Touchstone, which was Disney's new film company at the time. And of course, most recently, probably known but better for portraying Walt himself in the film Saving Mr. Banks. And he had a quote from Tom Hanks that said, he is a fascinating guy because what we have is this benevolent animator who would introduce us to his cartoon characters. But what he was very tough competitive and a very loyal businessman that invented an art form that is still going great guns today. Couldn't have said it better myself. And then one last one, going forward to 1999, and this was the day that the Discovery Island at Walt Disney World closed after 25 years of being open. I don't know whether you ever got to do Discovery Island, Michelle.
No, I didn't.
I used to love going when we went in the early 90s. It was a great place to go. It was very quiet and tranquil. It was only like an hour or so, or two, maybe three at tops, that you'd have a wander around and see the animals and the birds and everything, and it was lovely. But of course, what actually happened was in 1998, Animal Kingdom opened up, so consequently Discovery Island became a little bit of a forgotten place to go, and because it wasn't as popular, it did actually close down in 1999, which I was really sad to see it go, I have to admit.
Many happy memories?
Very many. I have some great memories and some video of my brother, who I think he thought he was Dr. Dolittle because he was talking to lemurs. It's very funny. I'll have to go and dig it out now to remind myself of it.
Fantastic. Oh, it's those little snippets that make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
Well, this week I posed a bit of a question on the Disney Dream Girls podcast family about packing your belongings to take on a Disney trip, and thinking about a little bit outside the box thinking. We all know we're going to take clothes.
I hope so.
And suntan lotion and a first aid kit with some bits that tend to be those common little ails that you get on a Disney holiday. You know, the stuff you're going to get, blisters, you might get dehydrated, all of those things. But what do you take in your bag that someone might think, ooh, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Why didn't I think of that? I'll go through a few things that our family members have come up with.
Okay.
And then maybe Jane and I have a few that we would like to add in.
Oh, let's see.
So, one thing that any good Brit has in their house, more than one, is an umbrella. But have we ever thought of using that umbrella as a sun parasol to aid your sunscreening while walking around the Disney theme parks?
I must admit, I haven't. I mean, I always prefer an umbrella to a poncho, because ponchos are a bit sweaty and a bit clammy and they stick to you and get everywhere. And I know previously on our trips to Florida, we've always taken our own Pack-A-Max, if I'm allowed to use that. That's an old-fashioned phrase, that, isn't it? But I know when we were in Disneyland Paris in 2019, we decided we wouldn't take any rainproofs and we would just rely on the umbrella. And you know what? It worked so well. It was warm enough, we were thankfully, when we were there in the summer, to be able to wander around in our shorts and T-shirts, popped up the umbrellas, and whilst everybody else was hovering under doorways and escaping down hidden little routes and things and trying to stay dry, we just carried on walking around. It was great. It was almost like we had the park to ourselves.
Yeah, because we all know the minute it starts raining in Florida, most people disappear apart from us fearless Brits.
Yeah. Well, we're used to a bit of water, aren't we?
Well, we'll be ones jumping in the puddles and saying, rain, this is right. This is what it's like every day through June and July.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I think you have to go prepared. You know, anybody that knows or does a slight bit of research, Florida weather, particularly if you're going, say, from June through to September, can be a little bit temperamental. We used to joke, we went with my mum and dad going back into, 1993, and they had these Foldaway Raincoats with them. And every day they had them with them, we didn't see a drop of rain, or we would be in an attraction and would come out and it was like, oh, has it rained? There was 2 days that they didn't have the coats with them, and on those 2 days, what did it do? It rained and we got caught. It was like a bit of a standing joke that we could only go out somewhere. We wouldn't let them leave the hotel room unless they got their raincoats with them, because it was like almost like a guarantee that we'd have a perfectly fine day. Go prepared. You're going to get wet at some point, and not just on the rides.
The amazing thing, though, is you see these pictures of torrential downpours, and literally 20 minutes later, there's not one single sign that a minute or two ago was like 4 foot deep in water and small toddlers were sort of submerged.
Yeah. I must admit, we went in oh, crikey, going back quite a while now. We did go in early June one year, and we found that was a worse time to go because it was kind of the rain came and set in for a few hours. Whereas historically, I think those Brits are used to going July, August sort of time, and that's when you tend to get that. If you blink, you miss it type of downpour, don't you?
So yeah, absolutely. Umbrella, some kind of sun protector, but also thinking about a raincoat and something that isn't too heavy to carry because you don't want to be overburdening yourself every day with a really heavy coat.
No.
So the next one, I really like this. And we all know that you should take a Ziploc bag with you each day, maybe filled with some little snacks if you just want something to munch on while you're in a ride queue or something like that, or to put in that cookie left over that you hadn't been able to eat the whole thing. But how about a Ziploc bag to put your mobile in so that it doesn't get absolutely sodden and unable to be used while it's raining? Stacey Manganello, thank you ever so much. That was a fantastic idea. And the umbrella one was from Shannon Jordan. 2 top tip ideas from our American friends.
Yeah, I must admit that's a really good idea because we're so reliant on our phones now, aren't we? So the last thing you want is something's a bit soggy and isn't going to work.
Yeah. Now, we all know in the UK that there are certain parts of the UK that get a little bit wetter than others. And one of those places is Wales. So when the goddess of Wales speaks, we do need to listen to Tracy Fowler intently because she says, well, do you know what, guys? When I'm packing my part bag, I put everything in my A4 size Ziploc bag that I don't want to get wet, and then that way it doesn't get wet.
Yeah.
How brilliant. So sort of like a liner for the bag.
Yes, yeah. No, very good idea. Very good idea.
Multiple uses of the very handy Ziploc bag, and they are fantastic for putting all your smellies in, all of your liquid sort of things that you need to put in your bag, and you don't want them to squelch out over your best Disney t-shirt. The next one comes from Donna Pitts, and Donna, you can tell, is an educator because she is thinking about a sort of like a clipboard.
Okay.
With a flap that goes over the front. So if you get anything like park maps or anything that is paper and you do not want to get it crumpled on your way back, what a fantastic idea. And she's even put on the podcast page one you can purchase from Amazon.
That is something I've never thought of before, but I love taking home things like, like the park maps, but also like back in the day when it was old ticket stubs, coasters and things like that. I love those type of things. That would be a fantastic way of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant idea. And another idea was from my lovely friend Wendy Cooper, a soap dish.
A soap dish?
A soap dish, because she doesn't like it when there's nowhere to rest the soap. Now, me being weird, I always use a flannel. You know, those little washcloths that you get. So I always put my soap on there. And because I'm Yorkshire and I'm tight, I make sure that each day I hide that soap bar. So I get a new soap bar from Disney when they restock the room. So I can take the extra soap bars home and give out as little reminders to people who might not have been to Disney for a while.
I thought that was the law. I thought that's what all us Disney fans just did by automatic, isn't it? The toiletries are not to be used. If they can be taken home, they should be taken home.
Yeah, but I've never heard of anyone actually taking a soap dish. So
no, me neither.
That's one. Jennifer Cole is thinking, what if I get ill? So she's listed a whole range of different medications. And curiously enough, Jennifer, one thing we can't get in the UK is Pepto-Bismol, and it's something I swear by when I feel a little bit of indigestion coming on, but for some reason it has not been able to be purchased in this country all through COVID. It's really normally quite expensive as well, so I think I'll be buying a fair few bottles of that to stick in the case to take home.
I must admit there are some painkillers in America, aren't there, that are, let's say, I can say, better than what we have over here, a bit more punch to them.
Now, we've got a few people thinking about taking a ball with them.
Pardon?
A ball?
Why?
Well, I first read it and I thought, what that is the most bizarre thing to ever take on a Disney holiday. And then I read why. Mindy Ussery says, I take a racquetball and I use it on a night when I'm back in the hotel room. I've taken my shoes and socks off and I use it to roll my feet at the end of the day to give them a little bit of pampering, a little bit of TLC, so that I am fit and ready for the parks the next day.
See, I just use Simon.
Simon, foot rub.
Yeah. Well, that's what he's there for, isn't it? It's got to have some uses, surely. Yeah. That and carrying bags.
Yeah. Well, talking about carrying bags, this is added to by Catherine Gallagher, our lovely friend Casey, and she says she has a lacrosse ball.
Oh, that's a bit posh.
All of these posh sports that we don't really do in the UK unless you go to a private school. And she says if you wear a backpack, it's really good to use to roll out your shoulders.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm not a very big fan of backpacks. It's what always winds me up with Loungefly. They do some lovely backpacks, but I don't like wearing backpacks. I don't like something on my back that could be, messed about with by somebody else. And then, like I say, I have Simon. So, things for like the umbrella and goodness knows what else, that goes in his, sturdy backpack that he wears. So I suppose that means I have to give him a massage though, doesn't it?
True.
Yeah.
Deborah Wolfe, Sharpies.
Sharpies?
Yeah. Well, if you've got your little Ziploc bag and you need to label it, do not touch, this is my cookie, paws off everyone.
True.
So that's a good idea. What else has she mentioned? More pairs of shoes than you ever thought you would need, because if one pair gets soggy, it might take a couple of days for them to dry out.
Yeah, I must admit, I did fall foul of that one year, and I had these lovely red, like Converse-esque type shoes, and we got caught in the rain very late in the evening, and by the time I got back to the hotel room, I took these very soggy red trainers off. Guess what colour my feet were?
Go on.
Red.
Ouch.
Just because the dye had all come out and it had gone everywhere, and thankfully they looked great. Then once they dried out, they were fine. But yes, there was Sam and I put them on top of the aircon unit trying to get them to dry out. So yes, more pairs than you need. It's a very good idea, Deborah.
And a fantastic idea from Kat Sutton, and sort of agreed by quite a few other people, is some kind of sort of like solid plastic container box that you can put in breakables on the way back. Like if you're going to buy a Christmas ornament or something really delicate, that you put it all in here, padded round with all your clothes and things, and then that way you're guaranteed to get it back in one piece.
Well, I must admit, I thought when we did start this little topic off, I thought you were going to say that the most important thing that you could take with you is space. Because
true.
You need the space to fill when to bring everything back with, don't you?
That's a good point, yeah. Couple of other bits and pieces that a fair few people have mentioned. A pop-up laundry basket.
Oh, okay.
So, virtually disappears to nothing. You get to your hotel, you pop it up, and all your dirties go in there, and then at the end of your holiday, you tip it out into a bin liner and squish it in your suitcase. And then it pops back again. Very
good idea. The fact that I just tend to use a carrier bag, that probably says an awful lot about me, doesn't it?
Yeah, true. What about this? This is another one. Right, we've all been there. We're perhaps having a day where we're lounging by the pool, or if you're in somewhere really nice like beach club that has a little beachy sort of thing going on with the pool with the sand at the bottom, you might get sandy paws or anything like that. How about an extra large makeup brush to apply the sun cream with?
Oh, never thought about doing that.
So you squirt it onto the sun cream and then you paint it onto people.
I suppose it saves getting your hands all sticky, doesn't it?
Stops your hands getting sticky. Stops you rubbing too hard, because sometimes you can apply a little bit too much pressure, and if it's on, a delicate bit that caught the sun a bit too much.
Yeah, we should be careful though, yeah. I must admit, with being very heavily tattooed on particularly one arm, I'm very careful to make sure that I have sufficient sunscreen, because that would really damage my tattoos. I do take an awful lot of care over things like that.
Yeah. I also take a few pegs.
Because there's bad smells?
Pegs.
Pegs. Yes, pegs on your nose for bad smells.
No. Normally, in most Disney resorts, there is a retractable washing line in the bathroom that I can sort of affix and then peg up my swimwear or soggy wet clothes, and they dry a lot quicker than being, say, over a balustrade, which might lead them to blow away.
I think this is saying an awful lot about me and how little I think about what I put in my suitcase, because I just pull that out and throw things over it.
Ah, you see, I'm a safety girl. Anyway, guys, if you've got a few gems of an idea that you want to share, little things that you never, ever thought of, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. You know how to contact us. info@disneydreamgirls.com is our email. Instagram and Twitter @DisDreamGirls. So all of this, Jane, has made me feel like I need a decadent delight on my palate.
Ooh, a decadent delight. Bit of alliteration going on there, Michelle.
Absolutely. So we've got 2 places that we want to mention about Oh My Word foods.
Oh, okie. Where are we going?
There's a new place over there at Disney Springs called Swirls on the Water.
Right, and what do Swirls on the Water do?
Dole Whip. Don't you get it? Swirls? Hello?
Well, yeah.
So they have all sorts of offerings. They have specialities and they have snacks. So thinking about the speciality, they have a 50th celebration cone, which is a Dole Whip lemon and cookie dough soft serve swirl in a cone with iridescent sprinkles and a Mickey topper.
Ooh.
$5.49.
Not too shabby.
And then how about this for an idea? This is just classic, fantastic, oh my word. Dole Whip pineapple vanilla nachos.
Nachos?
But the nachos are actually made with waffle cone chips.
I was going to say, I'm thinking salty and sweet, but then again, salty and sweet does work, so, you know.
And this comes along with some Dole Whip, mango bobber pearls, raspberry sauce, whipped cream, and sprinkles at $8.99.
See, I must admit, anything that's Dole Whippy does kind of grab my attention because I do find it very refreshing. So the fact that's got raspberry on as well, that's kind of ticking a lot of things for me.
Yeah, and if you wanted to experiment with some of the new Dole Whip flavours, and they do have some amazing, unusual flavours, you can have a Dole Whip flight for $6.49 and you get to try 3 of their Dole Whip flavours.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and if you like a beverage...
A beverage, yes.
A beverage. They have some Dole Whip floats with, well, there's one here, red wine sangria with pineapple Dole Whip.
Ooh.
Or if you're a bit more of a rummy girl, how about pineapple juice, Dole Whip pineapple topped with Captain Morgan original spiced rum, or Malibu coconut rum.
Malibu coconut, that would go really well.
That would indeed. And they have so many lovely little things changing all the time with these flavours. I think it is definitely a place you want to make sure you catch if you visit Disney Springs.
Definitely. And I think it's quite nice that the Dole Whip is going elsewhere other than the classic places.
Absolutely. And it's great. If you're down at the Springs, you might not have park entry, but you can still get it.
Yeah, very true.
You're all refreshed. I think you might want a cookie.
Oh, who doesn't love a cookie? Cookie with Dole Whip, that'd be fab.
Oh.
Dip the cookie into the Dole Whip.
Oh, so good. So good.
So what cookie are we having and where are we having the cookie from?
Well, for me, there is only one place to go and get cookies if you are at Disney Springs, and that is, of course, Gideon's Bakehouse.
Of course, and be prepared to wait.
Well, actually, Jane, if you play your cards right and you are clever, they normally just have a standby queue. So you don't even have to go onto the sort of like mobile virtual queue.
Virtual thingamajiggy. Yeah. Right, cool.
And that tends to be through the week.
Right, okay. So good to know. Right,
so,
yeah.
Top tip from me, visit through the week and you can have one of these delectable cookies. Oh, my word. And you can also do... There's a system online. If you go and visit their website, gideonsbakehouse.com, you can order the day before.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. So we've got orange pecan chocolate chip, which is their Flavours of Florida special limited edition one. They have a banana bread chocolate chip.
Oh, that sounds nice.
The original chocolate chip.
Mm.
Pistachio toffee chocolate.
Oh, right, okay.
Peanut butter crunch.
Yeah. I wonder which one you're going to go for, Michelle.
Oh, no, this is mine.
Oh, okay.
Candied walnut.
You do surprise me.
I know. I love a good candied walnut, you see, Jane. But it might just have to be I get two.
Two?
Two.
Why two?
Well, then I can get the peanut butter crunch and the candied
Oh,
walnut.
okay.
Shelley no share cookies.
True. And I have to say, these are massive cookies, aren't they? And
Oh, yeah.
for $6, they are, to me anyway, from what I've seen online, I've not actually had the privilege of tasting one, but they do look amazing. And, you know, a lot of bang for your buck.
Absolutely. And I think when I go and make a visit there, I will be definitely trying the peanut butter cold brew. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will be definitely trying their cake, because every vlog I have seen, the cake looks amazing, and I will be praying to the peanut butter gods above that the PB and jelly cake is available for me, because that looks a treat for my taste buds.
Very indulgent.
I know a lot of people who've highly recommended getting a slab of cake too. And I mean slab. But if you are looking for a special celebration cake while you are in Walt Disney World, you can pre-order a whole cake, and they range from $55 upwards, and they look gargantuan, Jane. So if you imagine you're there with, say, 10 family members, that is quite an economical way to celebrate by having a big chunk of original red velvet cake.
Very nice.
So yeah, there's a few things there that is going to make me go and grab something to go.
I shall look forward to reviews later on this summer, Michelle.
Although I think if I eat far too many cookies, I won't be going very quickly. Something else that's caught my attention as well is Joffrey's Coffee down at Disney Springs as well.
Okay.
They have a special machine that prints on a sort of like image on the top of your coffee. If you go down to the Disney Springs store or even go to their website, you can choose one of these extra designs, and I think it's $1.50. It's not a great deal of money, and they have all sorts. They have Mickey, they have Minnie. They are sort of, the coffee is made, and then these sort of patterns are printed on with the wonderful technology that we've got. Please don't ask me to explain the technology, because I'm a technophobe, but everyone who knows what I'm like will know that.
I wonder, I'm intrigued now. I want to find out more. I'm going to go away and discover how they're doing it.
Well, I'm definitely going to be popping in and trying some. But I'm also, while I'm there, going to have the luxury of buying some Joffrey's coffee in the net weight bags to take home with me as well, because, oh my word, their coffee is so good. Although Expedition Roasters, oh my word, I've had a few sent to me by one or two of our listeners, and I am so excited to order some for delivery to my hotel room. Oh, so good. Oh, so good. And I've also got a very lovely, kind, gorgeous, lovely lady, and I'm not going to mention her name, but she knows who she is, has sent me a C's gift voucher. I know. I am so excited.
Dangerous.
I know, but the thing is, it's probably going to be saved to when I visit at a little bit cooler climate time, because I imagine ordering from C's in Florida in August won't be compatible. And like she suggests, perhaps when I pop stateside, maybe later in the year, it will be a good chance for me to go grab an Uber, go straight to the store and have a splurge.
Yeah, might as well.
So all of that is very exciting, Jane.
I'm going to say I've got visions of lots of interesting information coming back with you from your little jaunt over the summer, and I look forward to seeing lots of pictures and Facebook posts and live feeds and things. And I'm going to get very jealous because I've not got anything booked yet. But I am going to get something booked, but
Good.
I've not got anything booked yet.
Well, guys, this is your bit. This is my challenge to you. What do you want to see from me in the parks? get in touch with us. Let us know, because I would really love to bring you into my holiday experience with me. Despite the fact that you are not physically there, you can be with the wonders of modern technology. So I'm going to do some Facebook Lives. I'm going to do some little videos. So if you want me to do a little bit for you, why don't you let me know? What do you want me to capture on my holiday to share as future content for you guys? You know, could it just be going round Animal Kingdom and trying out all the delicious breakfast items? Or even just something to do with doing some selfies by some of the selfie walls? I don't mind, but I'd love your creativity on the ideas, please. So please get in touch with us. Somehow you know how to do so, and I'll give it my best shot. But don't leave it too late, because my Excel spreadsheet is getting ready to be printed off. My planning is nearly done.
Ooh, exciting.
So excited. Anyway, lovelies, I really hope you've enjoyed this week's podcast. It seems to have flown by these this time talking about all of the food and the goodness and the packing tips. It's just sort of disappeared. Don't forget, we will be back next week. Keep in touch with us on their social media. We'll love hearing from you, and we love having you sharing your trips with us as well. And also, don't forget, if you want extra content from us, hop on over to patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls, and you can find out how you can support the show and get extra podcasts going all the way back since we first began in 2016 on the Patreon channels. Anyway, until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.